Hello, everybody. 99 Does. How's everybody doing today? It's hump day. And it is happy day after that fabulous blue victory day. Go blue, go democracy, right? I got some wishes in here and some other things that I'd like to see done, but we'll, been writing like a mad fool all day, I'm just saying. So, Mango Moose Knuckle is not happy, just saying. So anyway, there you go. Stop petting my peeves. Cheers, dears. So, let's get into this. Well, first of all, I want to say to all the newcomers, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Love me, like me, share me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you leave a comment, you're free to say whatever you like, but just don't attack the person. State your comment, and that's fine. Everybody has an opinion. Just saying. Hangers on. Yeah, you know how I feel about you. I want to thank you so very much for making me feel awesome. Yeah. I had my flu shot yesterday, and I just got to tell you, today I feel a little off. You know, anybody else get that after a shot like that? I had a bit of a headache going on, you know, kind of achy. I told my husband, I was laughing when I said it. I'm not serious. I said, I think that flu shot gave me the flu. But I don't believe in RFK and his bullshit. So, and I did say RFK Jr. this time instead of his uncle. But anyway, I digress. Okay, let's get into this, shall we? Virginia, I have an ask. Seeing as you got the governor, you got the lieutenant governor, and you got the attorney general. And Glenn Youngkin is out the fucking door. I couldn't be happier. And what I'd like you to do now is repair the damage that Youngkin had and blew up the friggin' state with. Garbage is what he blew it up with. He went out there like he's one of the people. He wasn't. He was the wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what he was. So please, Virginia, get the schools resupplied with history books that have not been whitewashed. Reverse Youngkins and Moms for Liberty, or Bitches of Bedlam as I call them, their restrictions. Kids need to know the great things that happened both around the world and in the United States of America. But in order to not repeat the past, they need to know the ugly even more. All you have to do to know that this is true is look who the President of the United States is and how he has basically abolished government as we knew it. And I say we because I understand democracy. There is only one branch that now seems to hold all the power. Mini Mike I've got no Johnson has no power. He and the position have become an auto pen to do the Mango Moose Knuckles bidding. The reason why there are three branches of government is so they operate independently, but also in support of democracy as a whole. This was evident on day one when he auto-penned 1,600 pardons of Jan 6ers, who since then, a lawyer, Ms. Oyer, who worked in the pardons office, told us that it was sweeping pardons that didn't even go through the pardons office. So that's why you get 6 child predators. They got pardoned and went on to reoffend. Dozens of others have been arrested for serious and violent crimes. Guys like Stuart Rhodes, I shot my eye out by himself. Yeah, and he was in the military. Yeah, he's also a Rhodes Scholar, by the way. He's a lawyer. Must have shot out more than that eye, I'm just saying. But he organized the insurrection and was serving 22 years, I believe, and his family, now that he's pardoned, are in hiding. And then there was Enrique Tarrio, the Proud Boys, 18 years in prison. He got pardoned, and he was also one of the head organizers of that insurrection against the United States government. So that terrorist gang, Proud Boys, by the way, started in Canada. Trump said, these people are patriots. No, Donny douchebag, these people are not patriots. They are treasonous criminals. Pam Hempel, aka the MAGA granny, who is, oh, she had cancer and they arrested her and threw her in prison. Well, she was at the Capitol January 6th. She got arrested. She did her time and she told Trump that she would refuse the pardon because, as she said, I was there. It was wrong. I did my time because I was guilty. I pled guilty. I was absolutely relieved that Virginia got governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general are all blue in Virginia, as well as they flipped 13 seats in the state legislature. Then there's New Jersey. Woohoo! Mikey Sherrill. She's going to do a great job because she's a true patriot that served her country flying Navy helicopters. She actually served Donnie. She didn't have bone spurs. And she fought while she was on Capitol Hill. She was a roommate to Abigail Spanberger, by the way. They were both roommates in Washington. And they both ended up being governors of their states. Like meets like. But she fought on Capitol Hill. Well, they both did for free speech for everyone. People should be fed, earn a living wage, and have affordable health care. One disturbing note, however, there was one Democratic mayor that did get reelected and won his race. But him and his wife, who is the superintendent of at the Atlantic City schools, were both charged with child abuse allegations. The mayor's trial begins November 10th, and his wife's trial begins December 1st. So I don't know. They both got it. He got in by a huge margin, by the way. So I guess it's up to the courts to settle this. But if he was going through all that, and I'm thinking he still got in by a huge margin, I'm thinking there's a little more to it than that. And maybe it might be false allegations. I don't know. But like I said, the courts will settle it. But mayors in Atlanta, Cincinnati, Detroit, Jersey City, Minneapolis, Pittsburgh, all blue wins, baby. All blue wins. All those mayors in all those big cities, all Democrats. And who can't relish the fact that a 34-year-old brown Muslim man beat a disgraced former governor, a mayor whose charges were pulled so he could do Trump and Tom Hobag's bidding to allow stormtroops to have at will in New York City and disappear people off the street with zero due process. They don't have judicial rights. They are basically racial profiling people based on skin color, accent, or maybe a tattoo. Mayor-elect Mamdani is going to try and put a stop to this. If you commit crimes in New York City, he says, you will be charged, you will be arrested. There will be no exceptions because nobody is above the law. So I wish him a very successful term, and I hope the other entities in New York City work with him to get his policies and promises to the citizens of the Big Apple, all the considerations and results he campaigned on. The chief executive now is working on getting him deported because, of course, he is enough for his policies or his agenda or any crime he's committed. It's because he's a Muslim. It's because he's not rich. It's because he's not white. It's because he doesn't pray like other people. So think back to Trump and the Exonerated Five. Remember those guys? One of those men is now a councilman in the city chamber in Lower Manhattan. Yusuf Salem was only 15 years old when him and his friends were accused of a horrific crime in Central Park, but didn't stop Trump from taking out a full-page ad in all the New York papers to call for those boys to be executed. He didn't care if they were tried or not, just execute them now. And he still got elected as president of the United States to rule over everybody. That should have scared the shit out of everybody. But apparently in Ohio, Shady Pants or Shady Couch Pants, his brother was defeated by a Democrat with 85% of the vote. That says a lot. I'm surprised Shady wasn't out there campaigning on the stump there with his brother, but it appears he's been a little busy lately with the Turning Point widow. Body language says more than denials do, JD. Usha, run. Usha, run. You are a better lawyer than JD is, and you could beat him 6 ways to Sunday, just saying. And make sure you get full custody of those babies of yours. And then there's California and Prop 50. That passed with 63.8% of the vote, or 2,226,606 votes so far. I don't know if they're all in or not. So Donald Trump, it looks like people are coming out of their comas. The people have spoken. The tide is turning, and all you can do is say the only reason Democrats won was because you weren't on the ballot? Honey. Prop 50 alone, just that one bill, passed with a bigger separation in votes than there was between you and Kamala Harris. More people voted against you as president when you consider all of the other candidates like Kamala, RFK Jr., Jill Stein, Chase Oliver, Claudia Delacruz, Cornel West, and 19 other candidates. Apparently there was 24 in that race. Your approval rating is sitting at a very, very disgusting 36%. I think it's pretty good. It's not really disgusting to me. It's what you deserve, which is the lowest in modern history, I believe. There must be so much ketchup on the walls of the residents at the United States White House. Must be tons. And I'm thinking just last night alone that psychiatrists could use the stains on the walls to perform Rorschach tests now. Behind the scenes, Trump said to his MAGAs, "We're getting killed on this shutdown." Well, to quote one of his Wharton professors, he was the dumbest student I ever taught. He's also the dumbest president. He even beats friggin' Bush, and we thought he was stupid. At least he sort of stuck up for the Constitution. Representative Don Bacon is rolling back his bravado and saying that if we can get the economy back on track, we'll win the midterms. So, of course, when he was asked about Tucker Carlson's big friendly conflab, I guess you could say, with Nick Fuentes, they should not be part of the Conservative Party. They're toxic, anti-Semites, they're racist. And so is Steve Three Dirty Shirts Bannon. But the Democrats have a bigger problem with anti-Semitism, and they're anti-Israel. What the fuck? Huh? I guess if you're against Netanyahu and him still bombing Gaza, there's peace deal? No, there's not. There was never a deal because Hamas or Israel, neither one of them signed. So that can't be a peace deal when the involved people didn't sign the paper. Just because your big ugly signature was on there, Donnie. So he's still bombing Gaza and hit Lebanon a couple times there, trying to racially clear the West Bank and wanting a two-state solution. If that's against Israel, you, in my mind, are in favor of blocking aid to starving people, taking over Palestine and the West Bank, and exiling a whole race/group of people. To what? To what? So Trumps and Bibi the Trumps and Bibi can build a fucking resort? That Trump will become the chairman of the board, or is it governor of Gaza? Is that what he's going to be? Him tearing down the historical East Wing, a $350 million let them eat shit ballroom, putting in a Mar-a-Loco social club where the Rose Garden used to be, complete with the tacky beach umbrellas, invading other countries, terraforming the effing globe, mass firings, mass kidnappings in the dead of night, ICE arresting with no warrants, probably, or a probability of crimes, and beating senior citizens and storing people in Alligator Alcatraz, trying to steal the 2026 election, which you started by telling your wheelman Abbott to get you 5 more Republican seats in Texas when you always win Texas anyway. What's your problem, you greedy bastard? And then you have the balls and the absolute gall to get indignant when Gavin Newsom calls your bluff and retaliates and did the same thing that you did for his people in California. Seriously? This is why you didn't win last night, Donnie. You disappointed your papa again when he said, please don't be a loser. You are a professional loser. That's what you are. You and your whole cabinet and spokespeople are bigger losers because they are now eating sour grapes because Mini Micah Got No Johnson just said this a few minutes ago. This is no big deal. Really? Blue states elected blue candidates. This is no surprise. Wah, 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 get the ambulance. You little shit. It's not that. They voted for right. They voted for the Constitution and the rule of law. The Democrats didn't just win, Donnie. They won by double-digit landslides. That's what theirs was, a real landslide. They won back all the votes and voters that voted for you in the 2024 election. That's why they won so big. They got all your voters. That's right. In New Jersey, Democrat, 3 consecutive terms now. 3 consecutive Democratic governors have won New Jersey. Virginia, first woman governor for Democrats, 13 new blue seats, which was so cool. Lieutenant governor and attorney general. Mamdani, almost 10% difference between him and Trump's candidate. No, they voted to stop your lawlessness and cruelty. It wasn't just because of the shutdown. It's your cruelty and lawlessness. And hey, MAGA, you better duck, because there's going to be a lot more ketchup flying by pretty soon, because SCOTUS is ruling on his illegal tariffs around the world in the coming days, and he is the only one that has immunity. Pam Bondi, Kashyap Patel, Pig Hegseth, Mako Stupido, Scott Bessent, Howie Licknott, John Ratcliffe, Krusty the Goat Assassin, Tom Hobag, Gregory Bovino, the U.S. Border Patrol Commander at Large, apparently, who has to appear in court daily to report on his agent's activities and, in my opinion, non-compliance with court orders. No, Donnie, the people have spoken, and they are scared, but they are more sick to death of the shit you do that is becoming just another soundbite on the news. They are sickened by the complete disregard of laws, courts, and even your buddies at SCOTUS. You want to dictate all the rules? Fine. Then you and all of those people that carried them out should all go down with you. And I'm sure that Alligator Alcatraz has plenty of room for you people. Pretty sure. 9N does. I just love you a lot. I really do. So, love me, like me, share me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hangers on, thanks for hanging on. And newcomers, hang out with us long enough, you'll be a hangers on too, just saying. So anyway, take care of you first so you can take care of somebody else. We're all going to need it soon. Telling you, just going to need it more than you know. But things look like they're taking a turn, and they're taking a turn for the good guys. I love you all. Take care of you. Bye-bye.